her. Mercedes was born just outside of London, and literally 2 days later, I was born in Australia. So Mercedes is 2 days older than me, which means on her birthday, she hears about it all the time. She's an older woman. But we do share a lot of same backgrounds, a lot of coincidences. Both of our mothers named Carol. Her mom's named Carol. My mom's named Carol. Her dad, you've probably heard this, my mom gave the same speech, but her dad is from New Zealand, my dad is from Australia, so we share that together. And when I was a young boy in Australia going to school, Mercedes was also in New Zealand attending school, so we were right next to each other. But while we share a lot of similar coincidences and we share a lot in common, we're also very, very different people. Mercedes is, well, I am sort of very calm, very, very logical. I'm very quiet. You know, I like to avoid people when I can. But Mercedes is entirely different from me. Mercedes, after school, she went backpacking around Thailand and around Australia for 1 year. So she wanted to enjoy life. She wanted to experience what life had to offer. And she's a very passionate, she's a very outgoing person, and she takes the time to smell the roses. And she has that effect on me. So she's a very good person in my life. And I'll tell you, I'm a very lucky guy. I have a very beautiful wife. And not only is she beautiful on the outside, but most importantly, she's beautiful on the inside. And let's have a round of applause for that. And I'm also lucky because I get to marry my best friend. I'm going to tell you guys one quick story about Mercedes and I before I pass the mic on. And it's a story that not many people know about us. It's from our early days. When Mercedes and I first met, we actually didn't really like each other very much. We used to argue a lot, and we used to fight, and you might even say we hated each other for a while, but for some strange reason, we stuck together. We didn't give up on each other. We just continued at it. And you know, one day then I suddenly realized that I actually looked forward to seeing her. You know, we saw each other on the weekends, and during the middle of the week I would say, oh, I'm excited, I can't wait to see her this weekend. And then I suddenly realized after some time that the days when I saw Mercedes were better than the days when I didn't see her. And this continued on for, what are you laughing? This actually continued on. We continued, so a weekend became 3 days a week, and then we'd see each other 4 days a week, and then it would be 5 days a week. And I put this poor girl through torture where every single week she would have to carry all of her toothbrush and all of her clothes back and forth between her grandmother's house and my house and back and forth. And I kept this up for over a year and a half until finally we decided we would move in together. And it was the best decision I ever made. And we've been together now almost 5 years. And, you know, honestly, I couldn't imagine not coming home to you. When I come home and I see your big smiling face like you are right now, and even if I've had a hard day at work or I'm stressed out, it makes me feel that much better, and my day gets brighter, and I'm very fortunate to have you in my life. So 5 years later, I can honestly say that, again, my days with you are better than my days without you. And so at this point, I'd like to say a toast to my lovely, beautiful bride, my new wife. And I hope in Hong Kong we can consider her to be Mercedes Lau. So a toast to Mercedes and to us, and I look forward to our new life together, our journey as husband and wife. But I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I also want to thank another special person in the room, and that person is down here, and it's my mother. My mom, when she was at our Florida wedding, she gave a very beautiful speech to everybody, And part of that speech that she gave was when she talked about me growing up and when we were younger. And she talked about how over the course of a few years, I went to 4 different schools in 3 different countries over maybe a 2 or 3 year period. And in her speech, she talked about how she was amazed that I never complained over that whole time, because I was obviously giving up friends, making new friends, and moving from school to school, and she said that I never complained. And the reason I never complained is because I had an amazing mother who was always there for me, and you know, I never had to complain because she held everything together. She held the whole family together. She's a true role model, and she's taught me many lessons in life that I can apply to my new married life. So I want to tell a little bit of a short story about my mom, and this was back when we lived in Boston. So my mom was a CPA, and she, during tax season, was a very busy time for her. And she used to wake up at some ungodly hour of the morning at 4 or 5 in the morning and travel all the way to Boston. It was a 2-hour-a-day commute for her. And she would have to work 10 to 12 hours a day. And she always found the time to come home and make dinner for me and my sister Wendy. And just this passion and this hard working and this, you know, never giving up type of attitude is a lesson that I learned, and it's something that I want to take into my new life now that I'm married. She has a perseverance and a dedication that I've never seen in a person before, and it's really amazing what she's done for me. The other lesson that she's taught me is that you always need to put family first. And despite the many careers that she's had and the moving around that we did when we were younger, I know that she always put me and my sister Wendy first. You know, we were always the first priority. And the way that I know that is that when we were living in Boston, she had no education in the United States. She had no past work experience, and she studied for the CPA exam, and she worked tirelessly, worked every single day, 8-10 hours a day studying for the CPA exam, and she passed it her first time, and not only passed it, but did amazing at it. And you know, she took a job because she knew that Wendy and I were entrenched in our schools, and we didn't want to move anymore. We'd moved so much during our lives, and she knew that the best thing for us was to stay where we were. And so she really, she worked really hard to give us a life where we were. And so for that, I want to give a special toast to my mom. She's an amazing mother, an amazing person, and I know that she's going to be an equally good mother-in-law. So please, congratulations to my mother.
Are you done now, Gary?
Yes. Putting people to sleep, I think, but yes, I'm finally done.
Okay, all right, so